You don't even know how much power you have. Maybe that's why you're so willing to throw it away. You're watching The Punk Patriot. Too often I hear people saying that if voting changed things, they'd make it illegal. Well, here's the funny part. Voting does actually change things. But rather than making it illegal to vote, the corporate power elite have simply structured the system in such a way that they're able to manage the outcome. Now, wrap your head around this series of facts. Fact number 1, your experience and knowledge of the candidates is largely determined by what the media allows you to find out. Fact number 2, most media coverage is horse race coverage, covering not who the candidates are and what they stand for, but personality-based bullshit and polls about who's going to win. This leads to the idiotic and mindless act of people trying to figure out how they're going to vote for the candidate who's most likely to win, rather than voting for a candidate with whom they agree. Most people don't even know that the candidate that they most agree with is actually running. It's because these candidates are marginalized. Fact number 3, corporate media is owned by large conglomerates who have huge investments in Wall Street banks, own large sections of the military-industrial complex, the energy sector, etc., etc. These same media companies also host the debates. Fact number 4, the debates have arbitrary thresholds which are designed specifically to keep the candidates that the corporate power elite want to marginalize out of the debates. These thresholds are put out there to make it seem like it's fair that these candidates are being marginalized because they didn't follow the rules and these are what the rules are. Well, the rules are being made up by the people who host the debates, and they change them even. Fact number 5, even if a candidate meets the arbitrary threshold, be it fundraising or polling points, it is a First Amendment right of the corporate person who is hosting the debate to exclude any candidate that they want to exclude. This is exactly what happened to Dennis Kucinich in Las Vegas during the Democratic presidential primaries. Kucinich was invited to the debate, was expected to not meet the threshold, met the threshold anyway, and then was told he couldn't attend the debate. Because the thresholds are arbitrary. They don't mean jack shit. They're just there to exclude candidates. Number 6, the very same corporate media that is part of the military-industrial complex, that has huge investments on Wall Street, that wants to disallow certain candidates because it doesn't fit their corporate agenda, also pays for the very polls that are used as the criteria for which to include or disclude candidates from the debates. These polls often entirely exclude candidates that they want to marginalize so that they don't even show up in polling data, which gives them plenty of excuse not to allow them to enter into a debate, the very debates that they host. Number 7, you know the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket? That's something that the corporate power elite figured out a long time ago. Rather than backing one candidate, or even one party, they simply run frontrunners in both parties.
Wait, what do you mean they run frontrunners? What do they, like, buy the politicians off? You don't have to buy off politicians when you run the debates. If you want to make them a frontrunner, all you have to do is just give them the most time in the debate to speak.
If you run a bunch of candidates in both parties, you can ensure that no matter who wins, your agenda is going to be served. This also gives the population the illusion that they have a choice. Now, you might say, well, there are actual differences between the parties. Really? You mean like wedge issues? Wedge issues which are used to make it appear as though there's a difference between the parties. Things like abortion or gay marriage. In reality, neither party is ever going to do anything to advance the agenda on either of these issues. The Republicans are never, ever going to make it illegal for a woman to have an abortion. And the Democrats are never, ever going to make it legal for gays to marry. They need these issues to fracture the population and turn us against ourselves. If they were suddenly to actually make progress on one of these issues, they'd lose the ability to promise their base that they're going to make a difference on this issue in the next election. In reality, they could care fuck all about these issues.
I think there are a lot of people who have trouble coming to terms with that because they see marriage as traditionally between a man and a woman. But I also know that, you know, when couples are committed to each other and love each other, that they ought to have, I think, the same sort of rights that everyone has.
Is some form of legalized gay marriage inevitable in the United States?
Well, I think, freedom means freedom for everyone. And as many of you know, one of my daughters is gay, and something that we've lived with for a long time in our family. I think people ought to be free to enter into any kind of union they wish.
But the GOP used these issues as wedge issues. They used them to get their bases all riled up and out to the polls, to make it seem as though what they did made a difference. Obama is currently trying to repeal the court decision which nullified Don't Ask, Don't Tell as unconstitutional. Let me say that again because maybe that doesn't sink in correctly. Obama is trying to undo the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. He says it's because he wants the change to come through Congress and not through the courts, which is complete bullshit. If he actually cared about this issue, it wouldn't matter what avenue it went through. If this thing is unconstitutional, then the court decides that it's unconstitutional. It's unfucking constitutional. The real reason why he wants it to go through Congress is because if it goes through Congress, it's never gonna fucking happen. The Democratic Party needs this wedge issue to hold as a carrot out in front of the gay community so that they'll continue voting for the Democrats over and over and over. The Democrats will say, we'll give you equal rights this time, I promise. Just elect us back into power one more time, just one more time. We'll do it this time, we promise. When are you gonna wake up and realize that both parties are tricking the lower class in the same way that Lucy tricks Charlie Brown with the football? Every fucking time. Every election season they say, oh no, we're gonna hold the football for you, and you're gonna be able to kick it right out of this park. We'll hold it, we promise. Just vote for us, we'll let you kick the ball, we swear. And then you elect them, and then they pull the ball away, and you end up flat on your back wondering, why the fuck did I fall for this again? So rather than making it illegal to vote, the power elite simply steer the entire process in order to help to determine the outcome and make sure that their agenda is the one that's being served. So you have a choice now. Are you going to just give up, stop voting, stop organizing, stop fighting, and just be an apathetic douchebag? Let them win? Are you going to keep believing them when they say they're going to hold the football for you this time? Keep voting for one of the two corporate parties and allow these corporate management teams to manage your citizen power to the point that you're completely ineffectual? Or stop playing their bullshit game where they keep on making up the rules as they go. They're a bunch of fucking bullies. I had plenty of experience with bullies when I was a kid, and you can't win against bullies because they keep changing the rules. That's what the corporate power elite keep doing. You can't win at their game. So are you gonna stop playing the game and start voting for third parties, no matter what the chance of winning is? You don't even know how much power you have. The ball's in your court.